History on Trial by Deborah Lipstadt. That's Deborah E. Lipstadt. This is a hardback book. Here's the table, I'm sorry, the dust jacket. I almost called it the table of contents, and I can't say why that happened. The book itself is just nothing particularly special about the way it's bound. History on Trial. It's got a black mark on it. I wonder what that meant to whatever person sold me this book. In any case, I don't know if this is a first edition. Let's just see if we can get a clue about it. Looks like it might be a first edition. How do I know? Well, I'm looking at these numbers here, and there's a 1 in it. Oftentimes that means it's a first edition. Of course, I probably could have looked at this part here that says first edition, but you know, why make it easy on yourself? Okay, so this book has an index and a couple of little pictures throughout and a table of contents, but otherwise is not exactly fascinating to look through on the inside. What's it about? Well, so the author of this book wrote another book, and in that book, she talked about a guy named David Irving, and I don't even want to say his name very much, but he is, a Holocaust-denier and, basic anti-Semite, and, fills some of the boxes for a rotten guy, and she wrote about him. She didn't even think that what she was writing was particularly, she didn't call him a rotten guy, you know what I mean? She was writing a book about denying the Holocaust, and so she mentioned him and talked about how he denied the Holocaust and some other things. Okay, next thing she knows, he's actually suing her in the UK, where their laws on libel and such are more favorable to the person bringing the suit than they are in the United States, where she's from. I think she was teaching at Emory University in my hometown of Atlanta. Anyway, so this is about that case and about sort of how it got set up and what happened, and so it's called History on Trial because it's what she was writing was history, was well-known, accepted history, and he was challenging that history, and by calling her libelous, he's challenging her version of the truth. And so they went to trial, and she it's a historical thing. In other words, I don't think it's a spoiler to say that she won the case. And so this is about that. And it's really, I don't know, I found it really interesting, not just because a Holocaust denier gets his comeuppance, but just the whole setup of it and everything and the way that it happened, the way that it unfolded. She's a really pretty good writer. She knows how to write with clarity, and the bits and pieces that you have to navigate through the legalities of it. I think she made it clear for the rest of us. I don't think she understood any of this before it all happened. Like, how was this going to actually be a lawsuit, like a legitimate major lawsuit? Anyway, I found it really interesting. I bought a couple of copies for other people. So that's it. History on Trial. My Day in Court with David Irving. That's the second time I've said his name. I really almost don't want to ever say his name. By Deborah Lipstadt.